My fist pounded into the cheap door as my foot kicked it from the bottom. She infuriated the hell out of me. I didn't have to cuddle her. I could leave her in there to rot or shove warm, day-old water and crusty bread at her until she choked. Leaving her for the crew would have been easier. It had been risky to show my face to her. I should have just left the logistics to Emilio like he wanted, but for some reason, I wanted to see for myself that she was all right. How in the hell did Teresa turn out to be Lachey's sister? How'd I manage to bring the one woman who caught my eye into the middle of a cartel war? My arrogance will get me killed one day. I closed my eyes and paced the stark white bedroom. Blindly bumping into things posed no danger. Safe houses were anything but homey. A metal bed with sheets as soft as the needles on a porcupine was all that stood between my fist and the wall. And God, she made me want to plow through plaster. Pacing the room, I stopped occasionally to shove my hands through my hair, tearing at the strands until they fell around my temples. I ripped at the collar of my new shirt, buttons flying, and not giving a shit. She made me crazy. I craved to have those pouty lips under my command, kneeling before me with her hands bound until she stopped her incessant talking. I needed to see a moment of fear in her eyes. Just a passing of uncertainty glazed her pale blue eyes, fearing my power over her. Then the fire would return. The cold power that lined her veins and steeled her jaw would demand her retaliation. She'd pull away, glaring at me with a mix of hatred and unwanted desire. All that raw hate and vengeance inside one woman set something alive inside me that lay dormant for years. I could satiate carnal desires with any woman, but Eden Lachey was a sparked live wire for the taking. The choice was mine to touch her and burn from the inside out, or step away and die from nothingness.
There's a fine line between love and hate. It wasn't until my heart blackened to a charred void that I understood the true meaning of the phrase. I found it amazing how much that fine line thickened while sweat dripped from the brow of someone I loved as I aimed a gun at his heart. "Eden, you don't know what you're doing." His image blurred, although my hand held steady. "Yours is the betrayal I never saw coming. Congratulations." In my head, the words sounded cold, despite the wetness that trailed from the corners of my eyes. Crawling to my feet, I paced the small space in front of him before I realized I'd uprooted from my spot. Keeping my breathing shallow, I focused on inhaling only when necessary. The rundown house reeked of dank mildew and death. The number of deaths that would be added to the stench remained to be seen. "I never wanted to hurt you," he implored, begging me to recall what we'd meant to each other. When I stared vacantly at him, he licked his lips and attempted to reach me on another level. "After all we've been through, it ends like this? You've left me no choice. There's always a choice." Hatred burned my eyes, incinerating the man reflected in them.